Welcome back, friends, to our gym challenge here at Psycho Turtle Collectibles, hosted by Pokemon Labs. We've got a really interesting matchup coming up. We've got Allan Martinez and Garret Feng coming up, and we have some fun Pokemon. I'm excited to see at least what you're going to see on the screen right now. There it is. It's Teal Ogerpon. It's back from the start of this regulation. You've got Allan on the left with Iron Hands, that Teal Mask Ogerpon, Gholdengo, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Arcanine, Hisui, and Roaring Moon. While Garret on the right has Chenpao, Dragonite, Rillaboom, Ogerpon, Hearthflame, Landorus, Therian, and Iron Bundle.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing some of those. We were talking about the Razor Claw Ogerpon. That means the Ivy Cudgel has a 50% chance to crit.
That could do some solid damage. Not to mention that it is Defiant, which is really nice against that Landorus lead. It just kind of scares it. But in general, it's just a good Pokemon with Ivy Cudgel, Stomping Tantrum, and then it also has Follow Me, so you can just kind of use it as support. I do think the lead here, though, there's one really scary thing for Garret, on Garrett's team, and that is that Extreme Speed Terra Normal, Choice Band, Dragonite. That just hits so much. And Gholdengo...
How many times have we said that in the last few weeks?
Oh, yeah. It's a lot. I do think leading that Arcanine is the right call. Iron Hands with it is a really good option. I think Gholdengo is also going to be really nice once you can get rid of that Chenpao, because there's not much else that can hit it once it goes for that Terra Dragon. There is Iron Bundle, but it's a bit of a lead. You don't usually see it come in late. I mean, you can, but it wouldn't be that scary. Because you could just click one, make it rain, and then bye-bye bundle. But I think the lead there of the hands and the Arcanine is going to be nice, because I think Garret is free here to just go Chenpao Dragonite. It's going to be hard to play around that, I think.
And this one is the bundle and the Ogerpon Hearthflame lead from Garret. On the other side, Arcanine and Iron Hands. But will immediately be the Ogerpon at -1 attack. Bundle, it is of course at booster speed, and so it will be extremely fast.
Not a horrible lead for either side, actually. I do think that Garrett's kind of going for that idea of let's get rid of this Arcanine and put pressure right away. You do have to either switch out that Arcanine or go for that Terra to Fairy. I think a switch out is relatively fine here, considering a few things that can resist Ogerpon and Iron Bundle, although the Fire, Ice, and Water combo is really good. Do you think Urshifu is not a bad switch in? But I wouldn't be surprised if we just see this Arcanine go for like an Extreme Speed or something, kind of sacrifice it, fake out on the Iron Bundle maybe, kind of forces that Terra to Ghost. So it's mind games here. Where's the Terra going to go? Where's the Protect's going to go? Do you fake out? Do you not? Do you attack? Do you not? Lots of mind games.
See, there are lots of mind games. Allan nearly runs out of time there. Gets the Arcanine swapped out. Your Shifu coming in.
I think it's the right call, because that Hydro Pump just puts so much pressure. And a Terrestrial coming out. I am going to assume that this is the Iron Bundle. Does not want to get faked out. And there it is.
It is indeed Iron Bundle for Ghost type. Iron Bundle with Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, Icy Wind, and Protect.
So that old bundle set we're used to seeing from so many regulations ago. Psychic Shield also prevents any fake out potential there. And I will not be surprised if we see that Hydro Pump. But it does actually connect with the Iron Hands, not the Arcanine.
Not? I mean, it's technically a correct read there. It's a wild charge into the Iron Bundle. Would have knocked out if it was still water type. Was able to take the hit.
This is very good position for Garret, because this Urshifu... Okay, it can Aqua Jet. The question is, does that knock out your Iron Bundle? But even if it does, this Ogerpon puts pressure on both of these Pokemon on Allan's side. I do think Allan could position himself a lot... He could still position himself in a really good place by switching out, but you could either go for an Ivy Cudgel, which could knock out that Iron Hands, or go for that Grassy Glide, which will do some solid damage on Urshifu, or you switch it out and preserve it. Dragonite, again, not a horrible position here, because you're probably not going to be wild charging onto Dragonite right away, and both Urshifu and the rest of Iron Hands moves aren't going to do a ton onto that.
Urshifu will Protect, and that'll means it'll take that Freeze Dry just fine. Or won't take anything from the Freeze Dry. Rain Punch going into the Ogerpon slot will hit the Dragonite for very little damage, not very effective.
No, I think you're okay going into Dragonite. The issue with going into Dragonite right now, it's not going to do a ton of damage. Even though it is Choice Band, you don't have that Terra on normal, so Extreme Speed's not going to do a ton. Outrage will, but it then basically allows Allan to go in with your Arcanine and Terra Fairy and make sure it doesn't get hit by it. And then your other options are Stomping Tantrum and Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace, both of which are solid, but you're going to be locked into that move. Except that Freeze Dry is really important.
Yeah, big Freeze Dry onto the Urshifu. One hit knockout there. That's big. Stomping Tantrum is what Dragonite will lock itself into. Nearly knocks out the Iron Hands. Doesn't get there. Wild Charge will finish off the Iron Bundle. See what recoil it does back to Iron Hands. Don't think it should be knocked out, but there goes Iron Bundle with its big stretchy cord neck. Iron Hands does take the recoil. I wish that Allan went for Aqua Jet.
Yeah.
It might not have knocked out, but it would have been damage. And damage is better than no damage.
I think that Aqua Jet would have.
I think it would have knocked out the bundle.
Because it would have
been a neutral hit, yeah.
So
with the Mystic Water, with all that attack that Urshifu has, I think it would have knocked out. And it beat out any priority, even the extreme speed.
Yeah, and that would have been really, really important. Arcanine is not a terrible play here. But
I mean, the Dragonite locked into the Stomping Tantrum is still concerning. Not to mention the Landorus that's now in that dropped the Arcanine's attack.
Yeah, it's just, that's what I'm more concerned about, because I was feeling like, you know what, you can go into Terra Blast, Terra Fairy on that Dragonite, get rid of it. That's not bad. Could Rock Slide as well, should do the same amount. But here's the thing, this is where it is concerning with the Landorus. You have Golden Go in the back. And if that's your last Pokemon, that's not ideal, because if you don't knock out both of these two, you're going to get hit really hard because you cannot Terra the Dragon anymore. So it's a very risky play. That you turn on Landorus is very smart as well because it preserves it for that Golden Go. But this Rock Slide, it is...
Also lets it cycle the attack drop onto the Arcanine.
It is, by the way, a max attack Arcanine, so it is going to go full power here. Should be able to knock out this... actually, that Rock Slide is very nice because it's going to do a lot on Ogerpon as well.
It's a big Rock Slide opportunity here. Stomping Tantrum will come out first. Does pretty decent damage, just under half. There's the Rock Slide. Not going to knock out either target. Pretty solid damage, but not going to pick up the knockout. At this point, it's going to be tough for Allan, I think. Ogerpon should be one of the faster Pokemon here. The Ivy Cudgel should hit Golden Go pretty hard. It can protect, but then, I mean, Arcanine's still taking a hit.
This is not a good position for Allan because you have to go for a Make It Rain or Shadow Ball just to pick up one knockout, and there is a very real possibility that this Ogerpon is going to be able to Ivy Cudgel this Arcanine and get rid of it before it can even move, which then allows you forces you into a Make It Rain to just chip the remaining two off, and you don't have any recovery because you're Metal Coat. So then you have to deal with a Landorus, which has a Stomping Tantrum in the back. So this is really not a good position unless Garret does decide to target the Ogerpon here. I'm sorry, with the Ogerpon decides to target the Golden Go, but it doesn't.
Does not indeed. Arcanine is down. It is just the Golden Go remaining for Allan.
I believe we're going to see that Stomping Tantrum come or Make It Rain first.
Make It Rain is first. We'll pick up the knockout onto Dragonite, but not onto Ogerpon.
Yeah, this game is Garrett's.
That is a rough. That is very low damage for all the boosters that Golden Go has.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because it is a resistant move, but Metal Coat I thought was going to do just enough boost to get rid of that Ogerpon, but it does not. At this point, you kind of just give up on the match, and yeah, there's that Stomping Tantrum.
Stomping Tantrum, the first thing to come out. Not going to pick up the knockout by itself, but the Ivy Cudgel certainly will. There's the bonk, and Garret wins game number 1 with the crit.
Just to add to it. There's 1 in 8 chance. But I think the lead of Iron Bundle and Ogerpon was really solid. I think you kind of have 2 leads with if you're Garret that you can really make use of. Chenpao, Dragonite, and Ogerpon Iron Bundle. They both are similar but very different because in one place you have to expect an extreme speed, sucker punch kind of combo and worry about priority while having that defense drop. The other has so many options. I mean, Iron Bundle can slow you down and Ogerpon can set up a Sword Stance, or you can switch out into something safer. So there's a lot of options for Garret to swap up, and I think that Allan, in order to adjust for that, really needs to find out what is the best lead to go into if I see either one of these. And frankly, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see Roaring Moon come in, though. It is weak to that Freeze Dry, but getting a Tailwind up is going to be really important, specifically for that Arcanine, which can hit a lot of Garrett's team. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Roaring Moon kind of sacrifice itself to a Tailwind just to get a single Tailwind up.
Garret almost instantly locking in the team there. Allan will consider a little bit further.
Yeah, there's a few options. Also, we see that Urshifu, it's an interesting case right now as well, because
I mean,
is...
things would have been different if Urshifu had gotten the Aqua Jet onto the Iron Bundle, knocked it out.
But
we don't know where everything would have gone from there, but that's a difference of one Pokemon to one Pokemon on the other side.
I still just don't know if it's the right call, just solely because it has only Surging Strikes and Aqua Jet as its attacking moves, and Garret has a few ways to resist that.
There are a lot of resistances on Garret's team, as well as just it's just a solid matchup. It's not bad though. Urshifu's never bad. Even just using those water moves. I mean, even through all the resistances, even through like Intimidate doesn't matter.
Yeah. It is a
even through the resistances, a lot of them something will Terra, and then it won't have the resistance anymore. There's a couple Terra Fires, the Rillaboom, and obviously the Ogerpon Hearthflame.
Yeah.
In any case, Garret's lead, Iron Bundle, and Dragonite this time. Allan with the Iron Hands and the Golden Go.
Okay, you know, it's not a horrible lead, actually. For not a horrible lead on either side. You're able to go right away and get that Nasty Plot potential off, but I think what you do right now is you focus on Iron Bundle and try and get rid of Iron Bundle. Leave your Golden Go there for Protect, but then what's important is your Golden Go, and this is something that we did see Allan struggle with because of Dragonite and Landorus, but if you're able to just focus on that Iron Bundle and then Terra Dragon your Golden Go, you can start sweeping with it because there's not a ton that's going to be able to knock that out except Dragonite with Outrage, but you know you outspeed it. So Freeze Dry coming out for Iron onto the Iron Hands. It's not going to do a ton of damage while Stomping Tantrum connects with the Golden Go. Oh, that does a lot more than I would expect. Make It Rain just going to come out right away, and that does pick up the knockout on Iron Bundle, and this Wild Charge may be able to finish the Dragonite off. It's going to come down to how much damage this Iron Hands has invested.
Wild Charge. And
enough.
It does.
Really good lead.
Knockout from Allan on turn one. Big lead there. And yeah, Golden Go took a lot of damage, but we knew from that last battle the Stomping Tantrum was not going to knock it out in one hit. It was going to do a lot of damage, but it wasn't going to knock out. And now if you're Garret, you can't cycle that Intimidate anymore on the Landorus. That's unfortunate.
This is actually quite solid for Allan, I'd say.
It is.
Because that Urshifu, that is going to come in handy right here. There is the Terra available, so Terra Blast. It's one of those interesting cases because your Landorus is Choice Scarf. You have to lock onto a move. Ogerpon obviously is going to be very solid as well. And honestly, I think the ideal play is to just go for Stomping Tantrum and Terra Fire your Ogerpon and just get that attack boost right away to get rid of the Iron Hands and then Stomping Tantrum on Golden Go. But you're going to really have to... It's going to... I think there's still a way Garret can pick this up, but it's going to be kind of close.
If we're looking at positives for Garret, it's not bad to lock yourself into Stomping Tantrum right here. Urshifu's the only one that actually resists it.
And likely... Our Arcanine will probably go for the Terrestrial. Yeah, I wouldn't...
If it doesn't catch a Stomping Tantrum right now.
Which it could, to be honest.
It really could.
I was expecting a Terra Fire onto the hands and the Stomping Tantrum into that slot, so it's a very real possibility.
We'll see the Terra here. I would imagine that'll be the Terra Fire onto the Ogerpon Hearthflame. Do that big cool mask.
There it is.
Landorus is at -1 now, and this Ogerpon is just at neutral attack.
It still does a lot of damage, especially with the boost from the fire.
This Rock Slide that it will lock itself into.
Okay, that's
maybe
interesting.
Playing for crit is not, or excuse me, playing for flinch is not a terrible idea.
No, not at all. And there is that Ivy Cudgel onto the Iron Hands. Especially because... but that does not pick up a knockout thanks to that Intimidate.
Drain Punch will do a little bit of damage, but just the fact that Iron Hands is there for an additional turn is going to be pretty difficult to play against.
Okay, there is one really big downside if you're going for Rock Slide, in my opinion. That is, you no longer force that Terra Fairy on Arcanine. You can save your Terra for water on Urshifu and just spam Aqua Jet. And so I think the goal right now is, if I was the Arcanine, if I was Allan, focus on chipping Ogerpon to where you can go for Terra Water Aqua Jet and then get rid of the Landorus with the Surging Strikes, because the chances of it knocking you out with 2 rock slides are not very high. It's not it's a -1, and the Arcanine's switching out as well, so it'll be -2 when you get to that point. So I think, yeah, switching into Goldengo is the right call because it's not going to do much more. You want to really cycle those Intimidates out. And the hand switch outs, okay, that's a bit of a riskier play because I think it's important to keep your Urshifu at max health. I think it's the key to winning this match. I mean, Arcanine could still do it, but that's important. Spiky Shield, though, really nice for Allan. Don't have to worry about any Ogerpon damage.
Yeah, Rock Slide misses the Urshifu. Not too important. It misses both. That's
Oof.
Unfortunate.
Oof.
Yeah, you hate to see that one, and that'll be difficult for Garret to come back from.
Yeah. I think you could kind of just... I think you, at this point, yeah. I think
it's like Surging Strikes on whoever.
Surging Strikes plus, I would go Shadow Ball because I feel like, again, it's more important to get rid of the Ogerpon because Rock Slide's not a huge threat.
Rock Slide doesn't even knock out the Goldengo.
Oh, that's
Surging Strike's going to destroy Ogerpon.
And that is a very good read there with Allan. You got to know now because there's your Urshifu. It does outspeed the Ogerpon. There's always a chance Ogerpon will go first, and if it Grassy... But that's also a thing. You're looking at the team sheet, like, oh, it's got Grassy Glad, I'll live that. So it was a safe play, and regardless.
Goldengo does flinch to the Rock Slide. We'll drop to this final Rock Slide here. But Urshifu, as long as it does not flinch, should pretty easily pick up the Landorus here.
And now if you're Garret, you're thinking, okay, let's think about that lead that just wrecked my first 2 Pokemon, which was that Goldengo Iron Hands full on
I wonder
attack.
Because exactly, if obviously it was at least considering the possibility of Goldengo not like Goldengo protecting, but if both attacks are targeted into the Goldengo, that is suddenly a great turn for Garret, because you knock out the Goldengo, both of your Pokemon stay standing, Iron Hands does a little bit of damage, probably over half to Dragonite, but not that important of a move.
Yeah, I think the the risky thing is if you go for the same lead, it could pay off in your favor. We saw that Dragonite was faster than the Goldengo, so you know Dragonite's going to be able to go for a Stomping Tantrum and do at least leave the Goldengo at 23 HP or close to that around, which is around like 5 to 10%. The question is then, if you lead the same thing, do you freeze dry the Goldengo or hydro pump it, hoping for that potential? Because freeze dry may not be enough to knock it out. I think it would, but it's a 50-50 call. I think if you're Allan, though, you just lead the same thing and keep the same things in the back. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a switch out into Rillaboom, or I don't know if Chen-Pao is necessarily the best. Actually, Chen-Pao Dragonite is scary too, because you could just go for that Stomping Tantrum, and thanks to that sort of ruin, it will one-hit KO that Goldengo. But I don't know if we're going to see the same combo just in preparation of if the Goldengo Iron Hands combo is able to do the exact same thing it did in Game 2 there.
Find out now. Garret's lead this time going to be Dragonite and Rillaboom.
Yep.
The other side, Iron Hands and Goldengo.
I actually really like this lead for Garret. You get a free Fake Out essentially on the Iron Hand slot, make sure it can't do anything, and then a free Stomping Tantrum on Goldengo, which is not going to... you kind of force that Goldengo to switch or take massive, massive damage, and a Make It Rain isn't quite worth it at the moment. The hard thing with Allan, though, and this is something that Rillaboom puts so much pressure on, if you do that exact play and kind of think, okay, that's what's happening, you switch into Arcanine, it goes down. You switch into Urshifu, it's going to get hit with a Stomping Tantrum, which puts it in range of Grassy Glide. So you really have to, I think, protect your Goldengo and Fake Out or Wild Charge Dragonite. I think that's... Or you do that and just start setting up your Goldengo.
Yeah. I mean, it's never a bad time. I mean, realistically, you could get hit. You could get hit pretty hard, but you are still threatening to protect. We'll see the early Terrastal here.
I mean, that's kind of your only choice right now if you're Allan.
Dragon.
That Stomping Tantrum from Dragonite's going to do at least enough to make sure your Urshifu gets one-hit KO by Rillaboom, or one-hit KO your Arcanine. But that Fake Out, pretty obvious there.
Fake Out onto Iron Hands. Nasty plot from Goldengo.
And if I'm not mistaken here, is this a speed tie between Dragonite and Golden Go?
It actually appears to be. Yeah, it should be.
At first I thought I was seeing things.
Because Golden Go was faster. Yeah, no, we can see it here. It's a speed tie between the two. That's fascinating. That's gonna be a big deal, actually.
Yeah, that makes things interesting. I think right now you're pretty safe to go.
Yeah, the same as entertaining as it is, I don't think that Golden Go is in much danger right now.
No, I mean, Stomping Tantrum plus Wood Hammer would do a lot, but at that point you're able to just high horsepower.
High horsepower. Ooh, that and it's faster.
That actually could have been. That was really important because if that Stomping Tantrum hit, it did 80 damage. That would have been enough.
That there it is, the speed tie won by Allan there.
And that could have just decided the matchup.
That was a really, really important turn there. Golden Go still going to be standing here. Iron Hand's not going to do anything. Golden Go gets a little bit of HP back from the grassy terrain. Garret down to the last two Pokemon here.
And now, good news. They're faster. You got Iron Bundle. You can freeze dry right away.
Iron Bundle is absolutely faster.
This is actually the ideal too for Garret because you get that freeze dry and Golden Go, and you got that Stomping Tantrum onto the Iron Hands. Not to mention that that Stomping Tantrum, if it's a really good option. I think you were gonna probably see Allan switch out into that Urshifu, but if you log on to Stomping Tantrum, you kind of just beat Arcanine turn 1, even if it intimidates you. And
it's the same issue as before, where
exactly.
Stomping Tantrum beats everything except Urshifu, but now Iron Bundle actually pretty consistently beats Urshifu. Yeah,
I think it knocks it down to at least 10%, if not a one-hit KO with freeze dry.
If you are Allan, you do have to balance really well to not make sure all of your Pokemon don't just get knocked out immediately.
Yeah, I think I don't know if that was the play. It's a smart play. It's a smart play because the freeze dry is a very obvious call into Golden Go. Going an Arcanine in that slot at least deters it and is able to cycle Intimidates. And at this point, you kind of just sacrifice Golden Go.
Yeah.
So if Garret did the Stomping Tantrum onto the Urshifu slot and didn't expect the double switch, this is going to be a very nice position for Allan to get another Intimidate off.
Let's see the Terra here. Terra Ghost Iron Bundle.
That's the play because you definitely you now live the hit from Iron Hands, although you are now susceptible to Surging Strikes. So bit of a trade-off, but I think it's the right trade-off.
The Icy Wind, so more speed control. Not going to do much damage, and should be both of them, but both of Garret's Pokemon should be faster than both of Allan's Pokemon regardless. Stomping Tantrum indeed onto the Urshifu slot. Not much damage.
That's okay. I think you're okay right now.
I mean, at this point, we say the same thing we did before in that Urshifu probably has to Aqua Jet or it just gets annihilated.
Yeah. But right now, it's not a great position against that Iron. It's tough because I think right now you kind of just Aqua Jet plus Extreme Speed onto that Landorus slot and hope that Iron Hands is going to be able to take the hit. But yeah, I would probably switch into Golden Go right now. You don't lock up.
I think you want to get rid of the Landorus.
Yeah.
That's the more threatening one to more of your Pokemon. If Iron Hands is able to take the one-on-one against Bundle, I think it's fine-ish.
I think so too.
Urshifu will protect. Extreme Speed into the Landorus. I like this. You layer the Extreme Speed damage. It'll take the Freeze Dry just fine. See if the Landorus is able to target. It will Stomping Tantrum into the Arcanine. That's going to easily knock out.
Okay, it's not terrible.
I think that's fine. The Arcanine was going to get knocked out by Stomping Tantrum either way.
Yeah.
You get I mean, the extra HP on Urshifu doesn't really matter. But now you can bring in Iron Hands. You can get a Fake Out for a little bit of extra damage onto the Landorus.
Okay, I think right now it's such a 50-50 call. Yeah, you kind of have.
I think Aqua Jet should be. I think Aqua Jet Fake Out should be enough. It's gonna be close, but I think it might be enough.
There was no Fake Out actually. It was Aqua Jet Heavy Slam.
Aqua Jet?
Yeah, Fake Out would have done it. Fake Out would have done it.
Freeze Dry will take down the Urshifu very easily.
Oh.
And Stomping Tantrum. Let's see how much this does.
That's fine.
Nice chunk,
That's
but
fine.
not too much. Heavy Slam will absolutely finish off that Landorus.
I think Allan's in a good spot.
I think Allan's in a very good spot. I don't know what the bundle can really do to Iron Hands.
I think we saw its Hydro Pump do. Freeze Dry did about like 50, so Hydro Pump will probably do maybe 100 at the maximum, and that's
and it has to spend a turn getting rid of Golden Go.
Exactly.
Golden Go otherwise will destroy it.
So that's enough where you can probably live
you need and you need 2 wild charges if you're Iron Hands, as we saw earlier.
I think
I think that should be enough.
I think Heavy Slam is the right call on turn 1, at least. Yeah, the Icy Wind does pick up the knockout on Golden Go and chips Iron Hands. You're still in a position where you still need to land 2 Hydro Pumps in a row to get rid of it, and by going for the Heavy Slam, it allows you to recover or maintain just a little bit of damage from not going for a Wild Charge. Now you go Wild Charge.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, Wild Charge, I think it's a bit more damage here.
With the stab, it should be, yeah. Slightly more. There's 1 Hydro Pump. It does actually connect. And that does a lot less than I was expecting. That's just going to give the game right away to Allan. And Allan takes a 2-1 win for round 2. Very, very close matchup.
Yeah, another great job battling back from Allan. And yeah, we saw a couple of those games like really revolve around the speed tie.
I mean, that speed tie actually just determined, I think, that entire game. It was, if that Dragonite hit first, that Golden Go would not have been able to get that Make It Rain off and knock out the Dragonite. So it really shows you that these two players were very equally matched and had really cool teams that countered each other, essentially.
Yeah.
And it all kind of came down to a speed tie, and then Allan was able to be like, all right, now that I got the advantage, I'm going to play right. And he did everything he needed to win that matchup.
Absolutely. With that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with round number 3 of Swiss for our gym challenge. Do not go anywhere.